Good morning, Sam.
Morning.
Sam is the head coach for men's volleyball at Princeton University.
Yes.
And I am a board member for Positive Coaching Alliance. And Sam had an opportunity to read Jim Thompson's book, Positive Coaching Alliance, early in the fall. His season was in the spring. Sam, can you share with me some of the things that you were able to apply from the book to your experience with your men at Princeton this year?
Certainly. I'll tell you the first thing that sort of jumped out to me. The book is written for child athletes, but from my background with sports psychology, I have a master's degree. A lot of it is very academically sound. I mean, a lot of the principles that focus on process come from a lot of principles that we looked at in the sports psych realm. So right away, I was very drawn in to this, and I thought, wow, this is really applicable to what I'm trying to do with the guys. And the first thing that we had adapted that I thought was pretty powerful was this idea of filling up the guy's tank, their E-tank, emotional tank. Because I think in the book it talked about, and you actually might remember the ratio, is
5 to 1?
5 to 1. Okay,
Positives.
So it says you need 5 positive things to be said about, and this is written for kids, but I think it holds true for all athletes. And you even said it holds true for the marriage also.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you want to say, if you want to give some sort of constructive criticism, honey, you should take the trash out, or whatever it is, you have to say 5 positive things, like, wow, you look great today, and oh, happy Mother's Day, or whatever it is, so that person feels in a good balance. And the point that the book made was that if you want to make 10 constructive criticisms, hey, keep your elbow up, oh, keep moving your feet, Bill, you're doing good, you've got to say 50 positive things throughout the day, which is impossible. You can't, there's no way I could say 50 positive things for each kid in a 2-hour practice training and give them 10 or 5 constructive criticisms. So what we sort of adapted with that idea was the buddy system, where you have, and I use the same position, so the setter and the backup setter, the 2 outside hitters, were buddies, and it was their job to fill each other's E-tank.
Did you give them a ratio? Did you say during the practice, this is kind of, I want you to give a ratio of 5 to 1?
Well, I said, I'm the one that's going to be given the constructive criticism. That's my job. I'm walking around saying, hey, put your elbow here, do this, do that. And I said, it's your guys' job to keep each other's tanks full, to spend the practice. Hey, nice set, Johnny, good job. And they bought into it. And usually the first drill we do is a very team-oriented, cooperative drill, and that's this sort of E-tank filling drill. And they loved it. And a lot of it, is half kidding around, but, oh, you're looking smooth today, John. Oh, thanks, Bob, cool. But a lot of it, sort of through the practice, especially when guys would struggle, or I'd be on a guy and working with a guy, come on, Cotter, you got to move here, you got to do that. You'd hear guys just sort of back each other up, because it was part of the structure we put into practice, and said, hey, it's okay to compliment each other. It doesn't take away from your manliness, doesn't take away from anything. It's just part of what we're trying to do. And they liked it. We followed it up actually as we went to the playoffs. I put together a list of all the positive things that each teammate felt about each other, and handed each guy a packet that had all these positive anonymous things from their teammates. And one of the guys said, "Oh, coach, you're filling up our E-tanks." And I said, "No, you're doing it. I'm just helping to facilitate it." So it was cool. And I never shared with them that I was reading a book on child sports and that it was beneath them. I just said, "Hey, this is what we're doing."
And did you use the term emotional tank?
Yep.
Filling the tank?
Yep.
And they really bought into it?
The guys liked it. It was very funny. They kind of, I'm going to fill your tank up. Oh, cool, fill me up. And they liked it, and it was funny, and it added a sort of a levity to practice.
Were you surprised when you were reading the book and then you thought, maybe I'll apply this to my team? Were you surprised at how these young men reacted to the tank?
I think it's just the way you present something, And as I was reading it, I thought, this is good stuff, and I don't think it's, only applicable to a certain age group or a certain gender. I think a lot of times you think, men are tough and this and that. I think society perpetuates that. Mm-hmm. That may not be true. Men have feelings, men have insecurities, just like everybody else, and they need to be cultivated, they need to be supported. And in a tight match, when things are on the line, it's nice to feel confident, nice to feel your teammates, support you and think positively about you,
right.
And your coach as well. So I would also sort of get in that E-tank filling mode and mentality.
Was there any other things you could highlight that you were able to apply to your team from the book?
Yeah, another thing that I liked was it talked about, and every coach has seen this, there's times when everything's going wrong. Just everything, there's this mistake and that mistake, and you can feel it getting worse and worse. And I think the natural reaction is you tense up as a coach, you get nervous, you get frustrated. And that negative energy affects the team, and it becomes a perpetuating cycle. Mm-hmm. And it said when things are going bad, find something positive. Find something positive and comment on it.
Can you give one example of something really tangible that worked in one incident?
Yeah, we were in a practice, and you can just feel it. You know, I mean, this guy shanks a ball, and that guy hit them, doesn't get the ball over the net. The next guy trips, and you're like, oh my God, this is just getting worse and worse. But you realize you have to keep composure. You have to keep positive body language and find something that's happening. So, you know, there's a bad set, and a guy takes a terrible swing right into the block, gets blocked straight down. And the correct feedback from any objective coach is, you know, Vinny, come on, man, look at the block, find the block. But you don't see, but you find some positive, and that's, hey, Johnny, good block. You know, and so that you found something positive in that scenario. And then, you know, maybe the next one, the guy just hits the ball completely out of bounds. And what could be the positive? Well, Scotty.
At least you hit it.
No, Scotty, good setting choice. That was the right guy to set. I mean, you really have to sort of open your brain outside the box and find something positive in the environment. You know, maybe it was hit out of bounds and the defender let it go. Hey, Akata, good defensive position. Find something positive, and then all of a sudden you've said a few positive things. And I don't know, maybe, and the book makes this point, the natural ebb and flow of practice is up and down and up and down. So maybe you've just kept yourself in a positive mind frame for 2 or 3 minutes when you can sort of deal with that downflow, come back to the good flow, and you're with it. But I think that the key point is that you haven't helped to perpetuate the negativity and prolong that, because you can be a negative agent in that people don't realize how powerful that is. And I used it in the playoffs. We were the second seed playing the 7th seed, heavily favored to win this match. We lost the first set. We were losing the second set. And I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous and scared and frustrated. And I kept it inside. I stayed positive. And I'm not going to say I did it. The guys turned it around and played well. But I stayed out of the way. I wasn't going to be a negative agent in that scenario.
That's awesome.
And it worked. Yeah, we won.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Sam.
Yeah, certainly.